Hi everyone, I'm Jim and welcome to the review of Ostatni Wojownik, the fourth studio album by the band Turbo. Today we're celebrating the 35th anniversary of the record, so I've decided to go back and see if it still holds up or not. I've been a massive fan of this band for all of my life. Turbo was very popular in the Polish metal community back in the 80s. Later that fame got smaller because the band broke up in 92 or 3. Still, even after the band was gone, people remembered, and we had cassette tapes of this band. This album and the previous ones, I would listen to them every day. Turbo is a very popular name. Several metal bands use that name. I think even Czech Republic has their own Turbo. What makes Polish Turbo band very interesting is the evolution of their sound. They started out as a hard rock band. Their first album was just rock music, similar to AC/DC or some shit like that. Then on the second album they've changed their sound. They decided to incorporate some of the heavy metal vibes into it. It was still a rock album, but with some metal touch, and everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I mean, when they've released their third album, Kawaleria Szatana, in 1986. This album was a classic heavy metal work. It sounded like a mix of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and their own style. To this day, I consider this the best Polish metal album. You need to check it out. After that record, the band changed their drummer, and that's it. The rest of the band is still the same, and they've decided to completely revamp their sound, to leave heavy metal behind and just do a thrash metal album, in the vein of Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, just more extreme. Later Turbo left some of the thrash metal behind to make a progressive metal album. The next one was very weird and I am not a big fan of it. Later their vocalist Grzegorz Kupczyk left the band and they decided to become a death metal band. They've released 2 albums completely in English. That stuff was great, but imagine that. From AC/DC sound to a Cannibal Corpse worship type of band. It was hilarious. After those death metal albums the band broke up but reunited, almost in the same lineup that has done this album, minus the second guitarist, and as usual they've changed the drummer. The new album, Avatar, released in 2001, wasn't received well by the fans. I of course love it because I enjoy nu metal music and Avatar is basically a mix of nu metal and heavy metal. As the backlash continued, the band decided to go back to their classic heavy metal sound for the next album, Tożsamość. It was released in English as well, it's called Identity. After that record Grzegorz left again and nowadays they have a new vocalist and they've been releasing heavy metal albums. That's the story of this band. I told you about it because you might not know them and their history is very interesting. Going back to Ostatni Wojownik, we have some more interesting facts about this record. As you may know, when a band is not from USA or England and they sing in their native language, sometimes they release an English version of their records. This has been very popular in the past for some reason, and I've never liked it. Even nowadays, bands release an English versions of their records, like Smash Hit Combo, a French band, released their 2017 record in French and then in English, and the English version wasn't so good. Why is that? It's simple. When a band mostly does their music in their native language, it sounds natural. Then they have to rewrite the lyrics and try to sing them the same way as the original, and it never works. I'm sure most of you know the German band Rammstein. They sing in German. Some of the songs had English versions and they fucking sucked. Not because the vocalist doesn't know how to speak or sing in English, it just doesn't sound right. He cannot convey his emotions the same way he does in his native language. I think that the vocalists should sing in the language they are more comfortable with. So take me for an example. I am not a singer, but I do like to sing. Would I sing in my native language? I don't think so, because since I was born I would always sing in English, you know, even the songs from Shrek, like All Star by Smash Mouth. It's easier for me, so I guess it would sound better if I used English. But it's not my native language, still I would use it. Just use the language you know better and feel better. This is why Smash Hit Combo album in English was fucking awful. Even if the lyrics made sense, I did not like the vocal patterns they've used. The same thing is happening here. Tuibo has made 4 albums like this. They've released a Polish version first, then they released the English version, and the English version is always fucking awful. I don't know if bands still do this thing. If you do, please stop. Just sing in the language you like more and you can communicate better with. In this case, things are even more complicated. Usually, when they did another version of the same record, they would just keep the same instrumentals, write some new lyrics and sing in the another language. Here, Ostatni Wojownik was recorded in 1987 and released the same year, but a half year later they went to Germany to re-record the entire album, and it was produced by a different guy. Basically, everything is re-recorded, it has a different production, it just sounds different. It even has a different cover art. So just in this case, I urge you to check out both versions of this album. Another thing that is weird is the tracklist. As you can see, the Polish version originally had 6 songs, and then the reissue had 7. Then the special edition of the English version has some bonus tracks. Look at this. So I don't know why Planeta Śmierci is not a bonus track on the Polish version. I also don't know why the track list is fucked up. Like, as you can see here, we have the Tempest song, Syn Burzy, as the 5th track on the English version, but it's the 7th track on the Polish version. Okay, I can get it, but why the Trojan Horse, Koń Trojański, is the 3rd song on the English version, but it's the ending song on the Polish version? The Polish version was first. Koń Trojański is an instrumental song. Why is it in the middle? And the song Angel from Hell has an incorrect title, because Anioł Zła means Angel of Evil. And as you can see here, Anioł Zła is the 3rd song. On the English version, it ends the record. Let's just start the review because my head hurts. So the production is tight, I really enjoy it, especially the Polish version. It sounds raw, but the guitar sound is amazing. The drumming feels natural, I love it. The English version is more clean and polished, but it lacks the emotions and the intensity of the Polish version. Message is diverse, songs are about fantasy topics, some evil creatures that don't even exist. It's not that interesting or meaningful, to be honest, but it does sound cool as shit in the Polish version. The English version doesn't sound that good, the words are weird and the vocal melodies just don't work. Structure-wise, the album is mostly technical. Every song has at least 12 or 15 segments. There's a lot of changes here. Some of the tracks are just advanced, they have less segments. Musically, this stuff is hard. Maybe I could call it technical thrash metal, but I don't think so. It's certainly more brutal and raw than Master of Puppets. It's like a link between Slayer and Metallica. This album was released 1 year before And Justice for All, but it has some of those vibes in it. The album starts with the title track, Ostatni Wojownik, and I just love it. This song has those blackened vibes. The melodies at the beginning are beautiful, then we have that trashy guitar riffs, the phenomenal drum work is making me so happy. The drummer Tomasz is killing it on every song. He's precise, his leg work is amazing. It's hard to choose my favorite segment of the song because every segment here is perfect. And even the bassist is audible. This is not fucking Injustice for All when Lars is like, oh, let's remove the bass, make it not audible. No. The bassist here has his own parts and he plays them and you can fucking hear them. And at the end we have the vocalist Grzegorz. He's doing his high screeches. I really enjoy those noises. On the previous record he showed us that he has a beautiful singing voice, but he doesn't sing here. He's just screaming all the time and I'm all for it. In the second part of the track we have that slow little bridge with female vocalist singing. That's Marta or Maria. She's a friend of Grzegorz, the vocalist. Later they started a band called SETI together. She adds more layers to the music and the vocals. I enjoy it. This is a phenomenal track. 11 out of 10. Miecz Beuda continues that melodic approach with that heavy, trashy, banger stuff. I love this song. Every part here is the same as on the previous track. Just amazing. I love the guitar solos, the bass work, the drums as usual, the vocals. This song just works. I could listen to it all the time. 10 out of 10. Koń Trojański is an instrumental song and it's the weakest track on the record. The structure is not that technical, it's just advanced. As usual, the bass and the drum work is phenomenal, but the guitars could be better. It's a good song, it's not bad at all, but when the rest of the material is so great, this song seems like it's lacking something. 7 out of 10. Seans z Vampirem is another banger, it's my second favorite song here. The vocals here are just out of this world. I don't know what Grzegorz is doing, but he's just screaming his lungs out. I love the drum work on this song. It's the best performance, I think, from the record when it comes to that instrument. As usual, the bass work is great. The guitars, amazing, except the chorus. I don't like the chorus here. My favorite part of the song is the bridge right after the second chorus. It kinda sounds like Iron Maiden in some ways. Very melodic and interesting. Later it becomes very fast, very aggressive, relentless stuff. I love this. 10 out of 10. Syn Burzy is that song which is a bonus track for some reason. I don't know why. I love this track. It's not as good as the previous song, but it has an amazing dark atmosphere. I love the melodies here, the vocals, the bass, everything. Some of the bridge section is not my cup of tea, but overall this stuff is amazing. 9 out of 10. Bogini Chaosu has the best intro when it comes to the songs on this record. Very cool sounding, great bass work, the drums are legendary as usual, the guitar work, great, but this song could have been better. I don't like the chorus here. The chorus is the worst part of this album. Everything else, great. 8 out of 10. Anioł Zła starts like a joke. The first 80 seconds of this song are just screaming and some doodling on the guitar. Like, what the hell is going on? Is this supposed to be chaos? It sounds very funny to me. So that's the only weak part about the song. Later we get a very fast, trashy track. Probably the most brutal and fast song on the record. I enjoy it, especially the vocal performance. Grzegorz is pissed off here. Amazing stuff. 8 out of 10. And finally we get that bonus track that was recorded live. Planeta Śmierci. There are two live versions of this song. One is on the Metalmania 88 compilation and the other is on this reissue, I think, or a live compilation. It doesn't matter, just remember that the 6-minute version has way better quality and the 7-minute version is not good. It sounds very muffled and has weak quality. Skip that one. Just listen to the one that is 6 minutes long. It has a almost studio quality, to be honest. The only thing that gives it away are the vocals. You can hear that they are recorded live. What's interesting about this track is that this is the early version of the song Gniazdo Smutku from the next record. The English version is called Den of Sorrow. I don't like that version from the next album. It was too proggy for me, the vocals were not good, but this one fucking kicks ass. It's faster, it has double bass on the drums, killer riffs. This is amazing. I'm like, what have you done to this song? This version is great, and compared to that next one, it's a fucking masterpiece. Great vocals, great riffs. Some of the song is chaotic in some parts and I am not too fond of it, but overall it's a great song and I wish that it made the cut for this record. I mean, why didn't you just release it on the album? I would replace Koń Trojański with this song easily. 8 out of 10. To sum it all up, the consistency is stable and the flow is fitting. Replayability? Hell yeah, it's an excellent record. I enjoy it from beginning to the end. The only song that I think is weaker than the rest is the instrumental one, Koń Trojański. The English version, I would give it a worse score. I would just call it great, because it does have a better production in some ways. I don't know, just check both of the versions and choose the one you like more. I think that the Polish version is better because it's always the original one that sounds better. It will always be the original version, because it has better vocals, the lyrics make sense, even if you don't understand them, you can hear that they fit the music. And the English lyrics do not fit the music because the melodies are fucked up in the voice. What can I say, this is a classic thrash metal album that every thrash fan should know. Thank you for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out this band, you might enjoy them. It's not very popular outside of Poland, probably no one ever heard of it, besides the diehard thrash metal fans, but this thing is worth your time, and I will see you in my other reviews. Bye!